Welcome back to Ask BBB. I'm Jim Swan with co-host Chris Lavoie. Chris is the operations manager with BBB serving Western Ontario.
So real estate sales are still very brisk in the London area in spite of the COVID lockdowns and distancing protocols. One of the services that helps real estate agents and potential purchasers is dynamic tours. We welcome owner Melissa Broad to learn more about what they do, how it works. Good morning, Melissa.
Hi, good morning.
So maybe just to start, you could kind of give us the elevator pitch on what your company does.
Absolutely. So we are a digital marketing company that deals primarily in real estate. So we provide services such as photography, videography, drone photos, videos, graphic design, logo design, that sort of thing.
So can you describe what's involved when you start producing a dynamic tour, Melissa?
Yeah. A dynamic tour is a video tour. So it allows our clients, our viewers, to view a space virtually. Our team takes about 1 to 2 hours to go to a property, collect the footage of the space. Then we bring that back to our studio for editing, where we can piece together the footage into a video for our viewers online. Depending on the length of the video and the request, obviously, we usually have photos and videos ready for our clients in about 48 to 72 hours.
So how have the COVID restrictions impacted dynamic tours?
Yeah, so it's definitely been challenging, but I think in the end, things are going well. We are considered an essential service because we do provide that support for real estate agents and even for buyers and sellers too, especially since people are finding it more difficult to view houses in person right now. So a dynamic tour gives you the opportunity to view a house virtually. Obviously, we've had to change our policies and our protocols to ensure that we're entering homes safely. So, we wear gloves and masks. We're asking the homeowners now to ensure that, they open the doors, the bedroom doors, everything, turn on the lights for us. So that way we can minimize what we're touching when we are there. But yeah, there's been a lot of changes, but, we're still doing what we can and we're getting through. So, yeah.
How close to an open house walkthrough does your dynamic tour turn out to be? Do we have any control over where we go with the video tour, or does it just take us through it?
So for us, the dynamic tours, they just take you through. But we even do like the opening of the door. So we'll start outside, doing pans of the outside, and we actually walk up to the front door. The door will open for us, and then we kind of walk through each room so you can see everywhere and get that physical walking through the house.
If you're thinking of booking this type of service, what are some of the things we should look for, and what are some of the questions that we should be asking?
So I think if you're looking to book a service, one of the important things that to know is real estate photography is different than portrait photography. So first of all, you want to see some portfolio. You want to see some examples of what the photographer has done, because I find some photographers in real estate can get caught up in creativity because we are photographers, we're artists, right? But in real estate, it's focused on the property. So the main objective is to show the space so that buyers can see what they're buying. So I find sometimes photographers, you'll see pictures of a beautiful vase on a coffee table, it's a beautiful photo, but from a buyer's perspective, we're not buying the vase, we're buying the space. So you want to see the walls, you want to see the windows, you want to see those types of things. So I think it's important to see examples of what the photographer has done so that you know that your photographer is taking the right type of photos for your property.
Now, you mentioned there's a difference between your real estate and portrait or regular photography. You do both, don't you, with dynamic tours in your service?
Yes, we do. We do, absolutely.
So tell us how you change hats then when you go from that more clinical work of real estate photography to, say, a portrait photography.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, as I mentioned, portrait photography is definitely more creative. There's more, ability to kind of be creative and try new things. And, you're talking with your clients. So you're doing things that, they want to try, and you get to be more creative in that sense. But yeah, it's very different from real estate. So you have to change your mindset when you're going into a portrait photo session versus a real estate portrait session.
How has the availability of technology, everybody's got a phone that does photography now, how has that impacted your business overall?
You know what? In our company, I feel like the demand for portraits has definitely gone down. That isn't to say that portrait work itself is no longer sought after, but just that our company's focus has kind of changed. We have found an amazing niche in real estate photography, and we have really established our brand in that industry. So we tend to stick there. Now, prior to COVID, we were doing a lot more portraits. Yeah, I feel like it has definitely gone down, unless you're talking more about the wedding photography, family portraits, things like that. But yeah, we're finding more, especially in this market, more need for real estate than the portraits.
So I'm looking to sell my house. Do I contact you, or does the real estate agent contact you for your services?
Well, usually it's the real estate agents that are our clients.
We mentioned the fact that we all have these phones. What's the difference between what an agent might do with their phone walking through a house and what dynamic tours would produce for that agent?
Yeah, so I have seen the smartphone videos, and I find in a lot of times they're much longer. The nice thing is we have expertise in videography. We edit our videos, we edit our photos, so we know that you only have to see a couple seconds of one room in order to get the feel for it, right? Whereas sometimes if you don't know the ins and outs of it, then maybe you're focusing too much, and the downside to having a really long video is that people get bored, right? So you want to edit it so that you're giving the viewer an experience of going through the house without taking too long to go through it, things like that.
Well, Melissa, I'm sure that there are some folks who will be going to the BBB directory and looking for dynamic tours and actually seeing some examples of your work, because we can't show the pictures here on radio. But we want to thank you very much for your time here this morning and joining us on Ask BBB.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Our guest has been Melissa Broad, who is the owner of Dynamic Tours, an accredited business with the Better Business Bureau. And as we mentioned, go to the BBB directory and look up Dynamic Tours, and you'll be able to take one of those tours.